Okay, let's have a look. So we're looking at both these truthers, and we're going to see if they really did pass. Were they taken out? What was going on? And this was both in a short while, like in the last few months, both of them left the earth plane. Okay, so this is interesting. Secrets card. Okay, so they outed a lot of secrets. And we've got the world card, which could be they were finished their work. But I don't know if that means they passed over or did they just go under? Do you know what I mean? Into hiding. That Doug Force guy, if that's his real name, he's already in hiding because he's hard to find. Looks like he's not on any social media. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Oh man, it doesn't look like I'm not thinking I needed the death card to add to the world here. Or because the world could say you are finished and karmically done, so you died, but you need the moon and or the death card to go along with it, or maybe even the Three of Swords, which we don't see those. Okay, instead we see secrets. So they went into secret hiding is what I'm going to say. And then now I'm going to read that as a safety card. They were taken to safety and secret hiding. Yeah. Okay, so we've got, they were approached and told they were in danger. So the White Hat Alliance took them into, or some group of people associated with those people, took these two, and they're keeping them in safe place. I don't even know. I don't even know, does that first fellow we talked about, does he really have cancer? So that's David Straight. Yeah, he does. He does have cancer, but I don't get he's passed over. So maybe they're giving him the last bit of time, and or maybe they'll help him cure his cancer. That would be awesome if that was the case. Yeah, it looks like they're giving him an opportunity anyway to not be in the public eye. So they've taken these guys both out of the public eye, but they're safe. And they weren't taken out by the deep state, even though they say this David fellow, David Straight, was given, like a lot of people talk about how likely the deep state gave him the cancer he's suffering from. Okay. Yeah, I would say that's true. So I said, who gave him cancer? Global elite. And now we've got the star. So they probably used a technology to do it that's beyond our comprehension, because sometimes this can be advanced technology. Okay, so wow. Those two were not taken out literally, although it looks like David Straight might be on his way out. But at least he's safe right now. Maybe he can have some peace, or maybe even help, they could help him get a cure. I hope that's possible. So sending ravens to both those fellows. Okay, let's have a look at will child vax agendas across the world, but we're going to look at the US because RFK here is supposedly really taking these guys down. We haven't seen him literally do that yet, by the way. He's doing a lot of talking. Hard talk. But on the other hand, a lot of this stuff's already been done in the background. When I look at it, it's already been done. So could the child vax situation already be shut down and we just don't know about it? Are they giving them placebos or placebos? What's that word? Anyway, not real vaccines. Let's hope that's true. But so what we're asking is, when will this in the US be shut down, or will it? Okay, so the child vax situation it's horrifying. They've outed that SIDS, so a sudden infant death syndrome, okay, used to horrify me just hearing about it. Okay, only started happening, or it was a total created thing, and it happened after aluminum was put into vaccinations for children. What on earth do children need vaccinations for? It's completely bogus. It's just a money grab. It's been completely outed that most of these were killing machines. Vaccinations are killing machines, and it's really tricky because I got all kinds of nieces and nephews having babies right now. And I don't want to be like that auntie that pulls them aside and gives them unwanted advice, but on the other hand, it's like a life and death thing, and I just have to trust that they'll know how to handle the situation of when they, like medical system gets pushy about these things. I know that in parts of Canada and the US and the world out there, so let us know, chime in the comments if this is happening in your place. They actually insist on keeping up with the child vaccination. I never did, and I got a lot of grief in my son's school and also my daughter's school when she was growing up. Okay, but my kids are both grown, so I think it's gotten a lot worse. So the pressure's still on, even though all of this stuff's come out about it. So what I'm asking is, when does this become public? Okay, so we can all stop having this pressure on young parents to do this. Okay, let's have a look. And we're mostly focused here on the North America, in particular the US, because that's where Robert F. Kennedy is supposedly going to be stopping this stuff, or that's what we believe, or we hoped anyway. Okay, so we've got that card there. That's interesting because that says a lot of, oh boy. Okay, so I am not saying it's okay to get your children vaccinated, but it looks like a lot of the situation's already been agreed upon in the background. I'm not saying they've cleaned it all up, so you're not safe to get any kind of, like, you shouldn't do it just for the principle. Like, they're trying to kill your kids. Don't go near these total scumbags, by the way. Okay, so in no way am I saying it's okay to get your child vaxxed. In no way would I ever say that. But it says here that it looks like they've already put them on notice. So in the background, and this is in the US, they have to not give them the real thing. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, but that still doesn't mean there's going to be some places that still are. Okay, maybe they didn't get to all of them. So it's absolutely not safe to go get your child vaccinated or fall for any of this. We need to say no to all of this. We can't comply to this. En masse, we need to all stop bringing our kids even to seriously, like, if you can avoid doctors at all costs, okay, until we know the medical system's cleaned up from the kind of doctors that would actually take payment to push stuff like this. And a lot of them did. Okay, most of them did. Hospitals, all at the top levels, completely infiltrated with people that are paid to push this, right? Even though they knew it was a killing machine and or suspected it was. And certainly if they would have read any kind of information on it, would have at least been suspicious. So meanwhile, being responsible for deaths, like, unbelievable. And also putting a lot of people in bad health. Okay, and in particular children in harm's way. Okay, so it's saying here, though, that certainly by August, a lot of this has been cleaned up, and it's already been agreed upon in the back channels. So they already gave the Riot Act, so I would assume that's the White Hat Alliance. Okay, so they already gave the Riot Act to these guys in the back channels on the high levels. Okay, because that's where this stuff's all gets done. A lot of people just doling it out there. They're just doing their job. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm not forgiving them for that. If you're already, and it's already an experimental thing, and you're pushing this on people's kids without reading the pamphlet with them and all of the side effects, then you're part of the problem. And whatever happens to you, that's what you reap it. Okay. Like, I have no tolerance for people that are okay with this kind of stuff. Okay, and then just blindly follow because that's their job. Okay, really? Yeah. But anyway, so, but I am getting that it looks like it's getting cleaned up in the US, you bet. And even by August, you could see, let's hope that even the public knows about it and there's a public no to it. Okay, so right now it's more in the background being done. Wow, fascinating. But again, I'm not telling you in no way would I push any kind of vax on anybody. It's obvious they're all created by the deep state. It's pretty obvious right now. Like, honestly, yeah. Don't go near those things. Let's just say that. Let's look at number 4 here. We've got, okay, this was a funny one. I thought it was great. And we need to lighten up sometimes, okay? The ladies on Trump's team, okay, they're beautiful, smart, tough, work hard, in shape, long hair. Now, I put my own words in. I'm not reading exactly what the person wrote. They work hard, they're in shape, they got perfect makeup, and like, are they hybrids? Like, are they AI? Are they real? Are they clones? Are they actors? What the heck do we got here? And it's really true. Like, there's like the woman that like fields all the questions. But I mean, don't all politicians hire a real beautiful front for their fielding their questions? I don't know. Okay, isn't that just a political thing? But I'm thinking actors if I was to guess, but I've never asked it with the card. So let's have a look. The women, the Trump team women, what's going on with them? And we're more talking about the people that work with him. Okay, so we've got the 10 of strategy. Well, they're very strategically chosen, it looks like. And they do have a certain look, like Trump's, the look he seems to surround himself with, or the brand, the way they like to brand him, is big blonde hair. I've noticed fair colored hair usually. I mean, obviously they got some brunettes in there, but most of the women around him have long, even if it's straight and long, but sometimes it's kind of that Texan tossed around blonde hair. Yeah, he does seem to have a thing about that. And then, of course, his partner is also a fair colored hair. Or was probably originally even more fair, now maybe a mousy brown, and is an absolute beauty, really intelligent and perfectly put together. Like, that is definitely a Trump thing. And his daughter, of course, his daughters, they're very fair, like with the hair and everything. And they're always in perfect dress and shape. And yeah, you're right. Whoever wrote this, there is some brunettes in there, more than I thought, by the way, but there's some Trump ladies there. Some of these could be wives of some of the politicians surrounding them. But yeah, okay, so we're looking at it, not looking like clones here, not looking like, I feel like it's more like they're chosen. They're chosen, and they don't even look like actors. None of these cards are actor cards. I feel like maybe they're part of the theater of what's going on, but they're chosen very specifically, and they look like real people who are chosen very specifically because they're team players, and they're what they believe will be appealing to the public. Okay, so they're trying to appeal to the public and a certain demographic, it looks like, and they chose them for that reason. And yeah, it's very specific chosen, but I'm not getting actors, AI, or fake. These are actual humans. Wowza, that is cool. I have noticed that when you do get like some of these people on camera and whatever, they do sound like they know what they're talking about, right? They don't just sound like they were chosen only for their looks. They sound like they kind of know, they're read into what's going on. So it's pretty interesting. Okay, so the fake protests, I'm going to call them fake protests in DC. Okay, so here's what the mainstream media is showing you. So it looks like thousands of people came out against Trump and Elon Musk. Okay, so they're absolutely against. Now, it's interesting how that picture was cropped. I wonder if they squished all the people there in. It's been outed. Tens of thousands, was it, right? So we're going to look at, was that number correct? Or did they do some photoshopping? like they do to make that way bigger. Also, who the heck paid these guys? Because a lot of people were out looking at and asking questions to these people, and apparently they were handed those signs. There's even photos of U-Haul trucks handing out signs to people. Okay, and they're paid. A lot of these people are paid. Okay, and some of the people were saying, let's listen to what this guy says about it. Let's listen to this. This is just one of the people that was outing that these guys were paid. Let's listen to him.
This past weekend, I went undercover as a Democrat voter to a Tesla protest here in Atlanta, Georgia. I wanted to go undercover to better understand, first of all, why they're protesting, but also I wanted to find out, are they actually being paid to protest? I just wanted to investigate this claim of Elon Musk that they are literally paid protesters. So first of all, here's the demographic of the people at the protest. The majority of the people that I saw there were white boomers. And the boomers would sometimes even have their parents there with them. The women had really nice name brand bags and purses, and the husbands looked like they were just dragged out there. I'm telling you guys this because this doesn't fit the demographic of people who are paid to protest. And this also kind of debunks the left's claim that these are disenfranchised MAGA voters. All of these people voted for Kamala. But that doesn't mean that George Soros didn't fund this and didn't organize this with his money. So the people protesting may not be actually paid, but the people who organized the protest are. And I'm going to show you guys how. This right here is one of those paid organizers. I'm going to show you guys exactly how she gets paid. Remember last year with the college encampments, how certain George Soros-tied organizations received endless amount of money from George Soros so they can disperse it to organizers? And those organizers were getting paid upwards of $7,800 just to protest for 8 hours a week. Well, the exact same thing is happening here. Here are 5 radical leftist groups protesting Elon Musk, one of which received $7.6 million, none other than from George Soros. And one of those groups, known as Invisible Project, received that $7.6 million from George Soros to do exactly what you guys are seeing, to boycott and to protest anything related to President Trump. So it's very safe to say that the people protesting are probably not getting paid, but the organizers, they're getting a nice paycheck. So Elon, you're right in a sense. These people aren't paid protesters, but the people organizing this definitely are. This past week,
interesting. Okay, so this guy's talking about protesters that were protesting Elon Musk and, of course, the his company and his cars. Okay, but it stands to reason that the same thing could be happening with all of the people that supposedly came out in DC this weekend. Okay, so what I'm going to look at first of all, we'll do a couple of questions on this. Is it a true estimate, tens of thousands? So tens of thousands. Do we have some Photoshop? Then we're going to look at who actually organized this. Okay, was it George Soros? And by the way, you guys remember, I believe George Soros died a long time ago. His sons were running that show for a while and they capitulated. So they would all be, if it is George Soros paying these guys, it's actually equals the white hats. So the white hats using the brand of George Soros, making it look like the deep state paid them. Okay, so that's 5D chess right there, because this guy's long gone. I've got that for years. He's been gone, and his sons were running the show, and they got scared when everybody was getting rounded up, and they had to do the capitulation, and they're just using Soros's brand at this point, and they being the White Hat Alliance. So I know that's confusing. Okay, so but just keep that in mind. Okay, for you newbies, just first, new on the channel. That's what I've been saying for years. Okay, so let's have a look at the numbers they're talking about in DC. Is that accurate? Did that many people show up to what appears to be protest Trump? Okay, let's go smaller, say cut it in half. That card goes smaller, and that card's like, that feels like cut it in half. So say half of that. That's still a lot though. So they used manipulation with the photographs. They manipulated the numbers. Wow. A lot of the people protesting are actually, yeah, they look independent. So they were independently, so they don't really swing towards against. So that feels like they might have been paid, or there was some kind of reason why they agreed to do it. So they made an agreement to come out and do it. But a lot of these people are freedom fighters and people that believe in freedom. So wow, that's weird. Why would they be doing that? Okay, that's very strange. So I'll tell you what I got. I'll tell you what I got on the Wacky Woo last night. So I did the Wacky Woo with Meg last night because Jean Claude and his wife uh, went on a little excursion with just the two of them, which I highly recommend. We all do sometimes, right? They just went on a little break, which is awesome. And it feels like when I was looking at the cards, right away I could tell it was faked, like the numbers, but I didn't look directly at that question. So I'm glad we got that cleared up. Also, I got that the White Hat Alliance actually are who's behind it. So, which would make sense to, they might be using Soros's brand, okay? And then they got guys like that truther looking into stuff like that. He finds out George Soros is paying it, but they're probably just using his brand and his money, because don't forget the White Hat Alliance, when they round these top dogs up, okay, these swamp dogs, they actually take their money and use it for these black ops. That's what I've been getting. For years, they've been using deep state's money against them. That's what I've been getting. Okay, so it feels like that we got a real confusing situation where we actually have people agreed to do this, and it's to out. So it looks like it's to out that these guys are paid protesters. So then they got other guys like this. We'll probably see a whole rash of this throughout the week where they get outed that these guys were paid. Okay. And also that the numbers are fudged. Okay. So it's really just a way to out that Soros was doing this for many years. Now he's not doing it anymore, but it looks like he still is. Okay. So a normie seeing that is like, oh my God, they might actually figure out that this stuff's faked. Okay, so that's what's going on there. They're slowly seeping into the consciousness of people, even really thick people that aren't paying attention. Slowly but surely, it's getting in there, back there somewhere, that actually this could all be fake. Do you know what I mean? And we could be watching a movie about people protesting. So even though we don't see the direct results of that, I feel like over time that really builds up. It's like the kind of brainwashing they did to get us into the situation we're all in. And I feel like the White Hat Alliance is doing the same kind of thing, slowly but surely. And it's painful. Okay, but they push it a little further every time and make it a little more obvious. They're getting this stuff out there and doing the opposite, using the same techniques to get people to understand what's been going on. So that's how I've been seeing it for quite a while now. And looks like they're still at it. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching my video. And do take care. Sending everybody ravens. Bye-bye. All right. I'm going to turn it a little sideways so we can get all the cards in there. So interesting, this is the Judgment card. This is how everybody's feeling and what are we looking at this, coming week, let's say. Judgment is, a lot of people are anticipating big things. And so many things are just on the brink of happening.
Right.
But this is a wake-up call card. If you look at the card, there's a trumpeter and he's waking the dead. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've had a lot of things lately that could wake the dead, but there's still some sleepy people out there not paying attention, or they're doing this, right? But this Judgment card, it makes it a lot harder when that card shows up to ignore, just for everybody to ignore something.
Right.
Is definitely not the same as it was 5 years ago.
Mm.
A really big, big changes are happening in all areas of people's lives. Okay, and this now we've got this Four of Swords, so it somehow has to do with. So you look at this card, you say, here's what's coming, and we're all anticipating. Certainly, this audience is anticipating big things,
Right.
And here's where it sits right now, which is there's a lot of things hidden from us. Even this community, we're just scratching the surface of what we think we know.
Mm.
I mean, other groups like that say follow mainstream media, they're a lot further behind that, unfortunately, right? Because they don't even have a clue. Some of them aren't even aware that the whole medical system tried to take them out. Their government tried to take them out. You know what I mean? Right. So, that's how far behind they are. But this card says even our community, we're aware of some of the things, but we're certainly not. We're not in the know for everything that's going on.
Right.
Now here we've got the 10 of Pentacles. That's how does the world see? So somehow there's something that cracks open, even everybody, like this gets into or somehow gets out there in mainstream that could be really alarming to people that haven't been paying attention, and takes us to a whole nother level of knowing, okay, what's going on, how this community is going to feel like. We're going to love it because we're going to say, oh my goodness, we're getting proven right again.
Right.
Right. Like, remember when, say, for instance, the queen finally, like the lizard queen finally was announced to be gone, and we'd known she was gone a long time ago. And there were so many comms about it. And this community was like, oh my goodness, finally, right? Something as big as that could go down here even in the next 6 days.
Whoa.
Something where we can all take a breath and go, oh my goodness, thank goodness, because it proves us right, or that we're on the right path. Okay, that'll be nice. It'll take us to a new level where we can sort of breathe a little easier and know we're on the right track and we haven't been forsaken and this is really happening, and something like that's going to happen. Now I'll pull 2 more clarifiers to see what area, but this is interesting because this card, it could be about finances as well. So, maybe we have more than one thing that happens. And one of them could be financial. Okay, 2 King. Okay, seeing alliances between people, seeing connections. I've been getting that for a while, where some kind of dots get connected between people that sort of the normie population doesn't really understand are connected, but we know about it, right? So these are capitulations and or people that are actually working for the good, but you will see them in the theater as bad still. I feel like one of those people becomes known in a more public way, or there's some kind of information comes out that ties groups together that otherwise most people wouldn't think to put those two together. And we would know about it, this community. So I don't know who that is. Somebody that's working for the good, but they appear like they're bad.
Wow, that is a lot there, Janine. That's some pretty big cards and messages there. It does feel like it's really big for sure. And Fire Within says, market crash. It's possible. Many people in the chat asking about that. You want to do a supplemental on that?
Yeah. So setting up for that. So that would be the card. I just checked the deck on that as the person was, as I saw that come up on screen, market crash. So we're headed there and a lot of things are setting up for there, but I don't think that'll be in the next week.
Right.
But that's on the way. And things will happen fast in that direction is what that says.
Right. Wow. Well, it's so interesting, Janine, because in the astrology for this week, thank you so much for that card pull. We have a lot going on this week. We have got Mercury going direct finally after a few weeks of this very wonky Mercury retrograde on Monday. Tomorrow, Mercury goes direct. And tomorrow as well, on Monday, we're going to have exact Venus, the planet that rules money and the financial markets, exactly conjunct Granddaddy Saturn. And Saturn is all about heaviness, reality checks, kicks in the butt when we're not paying attention or when we need to get that reality check from Saturn and the universe. And, you know, it's that Venus conjunct Saturn in the sign of Pisces. Where are we being in illusions, right? And the past week or so, I've been spending some time with some family and loved ones, people that we would call normies. I'm going to keep my voice down a little bit because they're not too far away from me. And wow, in a complete la-la land. Like, some people still have no idea what's going on at all with the markets. And this is going to be a week where, whether there's a huge kind of crash or not, I resonate with what you're saying, Janine. It's not going to be totally like full on this week. If it does happen, it'll be that Saturn reality check of those past systems that you thought were safe are not safe. And you would have seen that if you were in your common sense and turned off the stupid TV box of the programming and the brainwashing. Pisces, that is not giving us the natural reality of what's going on. There's totally new systems being created. So this Venus conjunct Saturn this week, exact on Monday, but we'll be in the influence of it the whole week. It's showing us that heaviness of, yeah, the financial markets are changing and you better be in your common sense about that. And with it being at an Aries degree, following your own self-authority, your own, I've been hearing, internal compass around what are the best moves to take, right? We're not financial advisors. It's very important to listen to your own guidance of what to do with your financial resources. Anything you want to say to that, Janine? Because I know as psychics and intuitives, astrologers, we get that question all the time. What should I do with my money? Where should, and we're not financial advisors, but we're also trying to help people in that aspect. What would be your guidance with that at this time?
Well, I'd have to remind everybody that responsibility and taking responsibility for actions, something I've been learning this whole lifetime. And once you get good at doing that, you can't really go wrong, because whatever you do, you personally karmically atone to it, and you own it. Okay, so you can't blame it on anybody. So whatever you're doing financially, check in with yourself intuitively before you do it. Feel good about it. Do it with loud and proud. That's what I'm doing. And take any responsibility, and also check in with the universe. Is this, like, I like to ask universe for, my guides are not other people. They're not other psychics. They're not astrologers. I love listening to other people's input, but I definitely wouldn't make a big decision based on a show I watched or whatever. I check in with my intuitive knowing, and then absolutely take personal responsibility once I make a step. I'm and I'm not bragging at all. I'm just going to be honest. I'm a super brave when it comes to, if I think a step's right, I'm going to take it anyway. And really, like, I'll eat crow if I have to or whatever, because I own who I am and what I do. So whatever you do, just keep that all in mind. You'll be fine. Okay, because it's you and your higher self. That's who you're working with. You can't blame it on anybody. We can't blame it on these systems. We all see what's going on. So we can't blame it on them. We can't rely on them. Certainly not. But I haven't relied on systems for a long time. I never really bought into, I don't rely on them anyway. But a lot of people still do, even in this community. And those people are the ones that might want to start training themselves out of that and taking steps on their own soul input. Like, check in with your higher self. You'll teach yourself the language of what your soul says about it. That's your best bet.
Totally. Definitely agree. So the financial side of things, we'll get to that a bit more specifically in a few minutes as well. We've also got this week, Janine, a full moon in Libra that's going to be on Saturday, 23 degrees of Libra. And this is not a normal full moon. because it's going to be in an exact opposition to Chiron, the asteroid that we call the wounded healer, a very sensitive placement in astrology. And Chiron will be exactly conjunct the sun in Aries at the moment of the full moon. So wounds, triggers, pain, frustration, and anger, Aries coming up to the surface. We've kind of been talking about that as a theme for quite a bit lately. Could we do a read, Janine? Because this is looking like possible a lot of breakups, even divorce. It's at an Aquarius degree, which can rule separation, divorce. Full moons are about endings and completion. For people out there that may be going through some relationship issues, whether this is, in a love relationship, in a work relationship, this is going to be a big theme right now.
Yeah, it seems to be very directed towards people that have been hanging on to things that no longer serve them. And we know when we're in those kind of connections, and that doesn't necessarily just mean romantic. I mean, obviously with the Venus being involved, you think romance, but any kind of alliances with others. Okay, because my friendships, I really love my friends, and sometimes you're aligned with people, even work relationships that no longer serve. And even like as close as family connections, distancing yourself, like it's hard sometimes, but it sometimes is necessary. I feel like that's going to be a big theme where you really check in and become, it's going to be hard to hide from. And if you know in your heart something's not serving you anymore. And so letting go, walking away with strength. She does things in a way that's with style, I guess, and grace. She's very graceful. The strength card, and this is part of the advice. So it's like, leave it absolutely if it no longer serves you, but not blaming others, or just take, again, big theme again, responsibility for it. Just be like, I'm not, this isn't working for me.
Yeah.
You might love them. You might, however you want to speak about it, but letting it go and taking personal responsibility, not blaming it, projecting, doing it in sneaky ways. No, the strength card says just own it.
Right.
And just be in your personal power. Because how other people feel, if you're being honest and forthright, is their own choice. Like, you're not responsible for their feelings. So if it devastates them, that's, and you stay because you don't want that reaction, that's not really helping anybody, really, right? So you need to own what you're doing and let people go if you need to. Especially if it's something you've long been involved in that you knew you had to leave. So if you've been hanging on to anything, this is the time to let it go.
Right. Wow, that's pretty clear, Janine. The Emperor and the Strength and the High Priestess, that's pretty clear messages there. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, it's going to be quite an intense full moon in Libra, in opposition to Chiron, with the Sun conjunct Chiron, and a T-square to Mars. But sometimes we need things to get intense or feisty or even conflictual to be able to get to that point, Janine, like you were saying, of really being able to feel from the emotions, like, this isn't serving me to the point where I just need to let this go because I'm feeling so triggered, Chiron. So we're all in this together, you guys. It is going to be a little bit of an intense week astrologically. And speaking of intensity, this is an ex-post from Benny Johnson. People are flooding the streets of Boston in protest to President Trump and Elon Musk. Embarrassing. Did you see any of this footage yet, Janine, of these, I forget what, hands off or elbows up? I can't remember the exact name of the protest, but the anti-Trump protests that were going on this weekend?
Nope.
Yeah, where I was actually visiting some family in Florida the past few days, I saw this protest happening live in Palm Beach, close to President Trump's house. And it's wild how there's different timelines living at the same time. People who think literally that people on the more conservative side of things are Nazis, racist, like saw signs with that literature on there. Absolutely wild. So with these big protests that are going on, what do we need to know about this? Is this just something that just happened this past weekend and it's past? Are we going to be seeing more of this from some of the normies?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're not going to believe this.
Okay.
But a lot of the, like it feels like there's capitulated people at the top level of the protest. So it's part of the theater. So the top of the protest could have been created, like the idea of these protests could be created by the White Hat Alliance. And then they get people involved. Maybe they whisper in the right ears. They could have even, a lot of them could have even at the top level. I don't mean all of the people coming out to protest, but the people organizing could have been paid as well. Mm-hmm. So they look like they're actually White Hat Alliance capitulated or working in cahoots with. So for some reason, they're doing this. This is part of the theater. I have no idea really why they would do that. I mean, some people might have ideas about that. Put them in the comments for sure. What do you think, Meg? Because this card says the idea might have something to do with unnecessarily stress. So this card stresses about things unnecessarily. Yeah. And then it's right at the edge of letting go of that stress once and for all. So it's like they're trying to move something through once and for all. We've got the Chariot. It's like they think this will speed something up, but I don't know what. I'm not sure what that would speed up.
That's interesting. Do you think it could just be like so many other things that you kind of have been pulling on recently, the ridiculousness, just to show us how far we've come, that this is crazy, to help further wake people up even further? That's what I got when I literally drove by one of these ones that was happening in Florida this past week, and it just felt really ridiculous. And also what I noticed with some of these people, Janine, is they look at you, and I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but people that are really brainwashed, they speak to you like they assume that you're just on the same page. Like there's not even a thought that you might have a different perception or you might have a different feel. Like they just speak to you and look at you like you must be on the same page. When actually, no. We all have different opinions. We're not all in a woke mind virus.
It's interesting. I've got this elite kind of card, but it can also talk about money systems. And then there's this 8 of Swords, which is we're waiting for something. And it's, like if I was just looking at this without you having said what you just said,
right,
I would say they're literally just filling in time and maybe doing that very thing you said. But the real thing is they're filling in time till that comes to an end, and something changes. And it looks like it comes through the financial system and gets everybody on page. So something's going to change, and they're going to show everybody that actually we're all on same page. Which, by the way, would be the Wheel of Fortune, which fell out while we were just getting on, just saying hello to everybody.
Wow, that's right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
This is filler. This is theater movie filler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It doesn't feel like something serious. Like just looking at the footage of that, like on X, and also what I personally saw yesterday, I didn't feel scared about it. I didn't feel like it just felt like literally watching a movie or watching a theater, and it's just playing out.
Yeah, something's coming, and it feels like it's financial, but also to do with children. And it's going to bring everybody, maybe financial one first, then the kid, some real truth about what goes on with the children, what we've been talking about for years that needs to come out. I feel like like that'll help get everybody on the same page.
Well, we've got the
if all of a sudden the banking system gets outed as the truly demonic thing it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's what's enslaved us all. So if that really rubbed in people's face, I mean, there's been a lot of outings of it where banks like completely get bailed out, yet we don't. Now they have the ability to bail in. So in other words, take your money. If they need a bailout, they don't get bailed out, they bail in. In other words, they take everybody's bank account, a certain amount of money off the top. Like there's so many ways. It's so obvious. These guys are not, couldn't give a, you know what about us. Like the banking systems literally enslaves us. And so many people still somehow defend it. And so I feel like if they do something real gut punchy to do with that, I feel like that's necessary. And also then they gotta, now they'll do maybe a 2-punch. Now they're going to tell you it's true about all that pedophilia stuff. Maybe they'll have something real big to show everybody, which, you know, they've got the evidence. You know, they've got the Frazzle Drip movie. You know, they've got the evidence from Epstein Island, the Diddy parties. They got the videos. Right. Let's show these people. But I feel like they're going to get, somehow they want the financial system to scare them first. Because you know how humans are about their money. Right.
Yeah. Definitely. That's very interesting that you're saying that, Janine, because actually just the other day, this is a YouTube channel I really like, The Paranormal Files. And he usually does paranormal stuff, but he did an exclusive interview with this woman who spent a night at a P. Diddy freak-off party. And I know there's some videos, like not breaking news, because there's already some people that have talked about their experiences with this. But why I'm bringing this up, she talks in depth about how there were children there, young children there. And we have this P. Diddy trial, Janine, that is supposedly going to start on May 4th. Could we pull some cards on that? Is that going to go as scheduled? Is there maybe going to be a delay on that? It's interesting that the P. Diddy trial starts the day it's scheduled for May 4th. That is the day Pluto goes retrograde for 6 months. And Pluto rules crime, the courts. It's Pluto, criminality, the dark side of life. So will it be delayed? Will it just be a long trial, Pluto retrograde? What's the message as of right now?
Retrograde might actually help because it really digs up and brings up the past.
The past, right.
Things to be all the mucky murk. It like shifts it all to the foreground is one way you could look at it.
Yeah.
But let's have a look. So I feel like P. Diddy's been working with the White Hat Alliance, maybe not directly, but indirectly. I don't know how, but he's been given up. He's been talking.
Okay.
So he's long since was rounded up and he's been chatting to them. He's working. He saw that he was going to be in really big trouble. I feel like he might have even came over and looked for kind of like what Prince Harry did. Like, okay, the elites are all getting rounded up. I'm definitely going to be in big trouble. So I better fess up kind of thing, go over there and give up all my buddies here. Yeah, he like all of these cards. These are the 2 cards that talk about collaborations. He's been collaborating for a really long time. So I don't think the trial will be legit. Like what I mean by that is there's going to be the tribunals have probably been going on, or maybe he's scheduled for a tribunal. But I feel like these trials they've been having with these fake courts, like think about it. The courts are all like they've been outed. The Trump group there, they've outed the courts as total fraudulent 2-tier system. Like who's ever going to believe in those guys? Like, no, you know what I mean? Everything we've been watching about the truckers, getting like years for mischief. Like, are you kidding? Like, it's pathetic. Like, there's no justice in any of the way the courts are set up right now. And I think that's been pretty obvious. So I feel like they're all relying on these. There's going to be, there has been ongoing tribunals.
Right.
I've been saying that for years, and I believe it's true. Okay, so we've got these cards. This guy's been giving up people and talking for a long time. He came to them. So I don't think that any trial you see, it's all going to be theater. Theater, we've got the Empress. They're going to use it to wake more people up, and you're going to see a 2-tier system. So I feel like they'll probably treat him way too good for the criminal that he is, obviously. And that's going to make a lot of people mad, I feel like. And maybe he might even get off way too easy or something because he's an elite kind of thing. I feel like it'll all just be presented to you so you understand what they've been doing for, maybe hundreds of years. The system's not been, it's not about justice. That's a joke. There's no justice in the court system. It's all rigged, against regular folks. Yeah, so it's going to be a theater.
Going to be a theater. Okay. And you think it's going to start on or around May 4th as of right now?
It'll get held up. Maybe in line, that would make sense to the retrograde.
Right. What you said, Janine, is actually what I initially thought. I thought, okay, Pluto retrograde, this might actually be good. Like you said, for bringing up the past. But then again, I feel like could make it take a really long time.
Yeah. So what people have to, and a lot of people don't believe there's tribunals going on, and that's, whatever your thoughts are, whatever, that's what you're thinking. But I've been consistently seeing it in the cards, so I'm gonna go with that. You know what I mean? But it's hard to understand that when you don't see any evidence of it. So I totally get if you're not going with that.
Yeah.
But see that 7 of Swords there? We got that 7 of Swords, so it's held up. But that'll even be part of the theater.
Right.
Yeah. So we're going to see some theater. I mean, think about the whole George Floyd trial. What a joke that was. They didn't even have the actual guy that was supposedly killed George Floyd. Of course, we know George Floyd and him were buddies, and they were actually crisis actors. And it wasn't even George Floyd's real name. They plucked a name out of some guy that actually died of some drug overuse or whatever, had been in prison for years. Like, all of it was made up right from the get-go. Okay, so the whole trial was a joke. So I have no idea, like, who actually buys anything when it's on public trial anymore. It's like a big theater.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And just to bring up too, regardless of P. Diddy, just next week on April 17th, Mars is going to finally leave Cancer. We've been going through this freaking Mars and Cancer for months and months and months since the end of 2024, and go into the sign of Leo, which rules children. Also high drama, high stakes. And there's going to be very intense as we get later into the month, Janine. Mars in Leo, children, in opposition to Pluto, the revealer of secrets having to do with Leo and children. So probably it's not just the P. Diddy trial, if it is even going to be the P. Diddy trial starting to happen. It makes sense what you're saying with the astrology as well, that there's going to be outing Pluto of things that have to do with children, specifically from April 17th onward. And I think things are going to feel like they're maybe moving even faster than they already are once that Mars finally gets out of Cancer. We've been going through that since the end of last year. So some things that we've been feeling like we're processing through, just dragging on, and it's going to be, wow, a lot of high drama starting to happen all at the same time. It already is, but even more so.
That's interesting, Meg. I got a Mars in Cancer.
Me too.
Really? We do.
We both have Mars.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we know what it like. I'm comfortable with Mars in Cancer, but it's a lot to get used to for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's that's a fun one to have. Very intuitive, very creative. Yeah, that's an interesting one to have.
Yeah.
Let's move over to France and Marie Le Pen. And let's first listen before we get into questions with that to this video from Alex Jones. He posted this, I think this was from today or yesterday, 2 days ago. Breaking: President Trump stuns the world by exposing the evil French government and saying, "Free Marie Le Pen." France has officially fallen to the globalist crime syndicate. The EU Commission is an unelected tyranny and an enemy of free people around the world. I love how Alex Jones talks. I think since he put this out, they might have dropped the charges on Marie Le Pen. Did you hear about that, Janine?
Yes, they did.
Okay,
Well, the people demanded it, and apparently a lot of those see, that's another thing. That was all theater.
Right.
That's theater. Those guys are like that guy that's parading around as Macron, him and his wife, right?
Yeah.
Those guys, that's all theater. They're part of the outing of the elite's dysfunction and like really sick sort of lifestyles. Like, just have a listen to Candace Owens' take on those guys. Like, she did a deep dive into those.
I didn't even get to listen to that whole thing yet. I
watched. Literally horrifying. And everything about what you think their life is made up. And I've been saying that for years. All the royals, all of their stuff's made up. These really high-profile people are placed, and their whole lives are made up. It's like Obama, that's what they did with him. It's all fake, and they got inverted wives, and like the whole thing's just unbelievable. Absolutely. And it's all coming out. It's all like, yeah.
Yeah, it is so twisted. Bijorni says, Macron is married to his handler father. Yeah, okay, we just gave it away to you guys, but go listen. Yeah, go listen to that Candace Owens special series. Wow. So, okay, let's take a little listen to Alex here.
President Trump has put out a big statement on X and Truth Social about Marie Le Pen, who has been a populist anti-globalist her whole life. Her dad, famous super patriot in France, tried to save the country, not completely overrun by Islamics and others. And Trump came out and said, this is the globalist tyranny. This is the leftist tyranny, with these fake judges convicting people that are ahead in presidential polls and taking them off the ballot. Now, Colleen Georgescu, the big economist, a great patriot, won a few months ago, as you know, in Romania. And so they canceled that election. The EU dictatorship did, the unelected commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and arrested him and won't let him run. And now they're talking about doing it if they don't like the election in Poland, and they're talking about doing it in Germany. Yes, and I really tried to get Trump to come to Georgescu's aid. We did 3 interviews with him. So I hope that Trump talks about that. Musk talked about it, made a big deal about it. And Marino Fall and others went and interviewed him, and so did I. But, I mean, this is tyranny. The communists, backed by the State Department under Biden, did it to Bolsonaro, the exact same tactics. And, of course, Norm Eisen, famously, as the U.S. ambassador under Obama, the Czech Republic ran a whole base doing it for NATO, back 10, 11 years ago. So this goes on and on. This is the deep state. And Judge Roberts under Eisen's control and all of it. It's the same playbook, the same globalist. They're still running out of the UK and Europe, the censorship, the domestic attacks. They're trying to fine Musk $1 billion to begin with for allowing free speech on the platform. They're coming for all of us. And so Trump doesn't just need tariffs. He needs to use the tariffs, as he said he will, to get them to stop the tyranny. He's finally doing it. I'll be covering today at 11 a.m. Central on my weekday show at Real Alex Jones. Please follow me here and share this important report. This is a worldwide fight for liberty. The globalists are a worldwide tyranny. We are nation states working together with free peoples, together in alliance against the globalist tyranny. Free Marie Le Pen.
Okay, Janine. So it's very interesting because the astrology of right now, with Pluto being in Aquarius, this is, of course, the last time we had Pluto in Aquarius was the French Revolution, famous history. France's independence. Now we have Pluto in Aquarius again, and they're trying to lock up Marie Le Pen, who seems to be the real kind of patriot of the country, the other option for the freedom lovers there. Now she will be able to run in the election. Could we start with a pull on France specifically, since this seems to be all popping off there very much with Marie Le Pen? and then get into Europe as a whole coming up. What's going to come up with, many of those countries, not France anymore. Well, there's globalist structures and systems, but many of them are still under monarchies, we're seeing.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wow. Those two cards are all like opposites. It's fascinating. Okay, so this is a revelation card, especially when it comes in a personal spot, like the people of France, for instance. I feel like they've really woken up en masse. Like, even if they were a lot of them already, I feel like there's a lot more that have woken up over this whole thing that happened with her. That's why the theater, that's why they got to play these things out. Now we've got the Temperance card, which is a patience and perseverance universal timing card. So let's see why that came up. So it does look like she got away from her, the people trying to imprison her or whatever. That got overturned, it looks like, because justice prevailed, and that's a real justice card, or so it visually you saw that happen anyway. Yeah, because right under it, we've got that. It's a victory for the people. So that all happening went a long way to wake up a lot of people there. And now we've got the Ace of Wands. So it looks like a fiery fight. She does get involved in the elections. We've got the Two of Wands. I don't think she's in the clear yet. There's going to be more drama coming out. There's going to be more drama. But she realized this, even if she doesn't appear so, she is safe. So at some point she might even appear not to, people might worry that she's not, she's actually safe. And her real self looks like they could even be watching from a distance. Like, I feel like a lot of this is theater and playing itself out just for people to wake up, and it's working.
Right. Are we going to see, Janine, France fall into an intense rebellion as we did the last time Pluto was in Aquarius in the 1700s? Is it going to get that intense or not?
Doesn't look like it. We got the Hanged Man, so it's more of an awareness. So the Tower isn't so much, although of course you're going to see some big action out on the streets. You know, the French are always good for that, but I don't think is going as far as the big revolution that happened the last time. This feels more informational. This is about people becoming enlightened. Okay, so the enlightenment, that's where it really goes big, is people moving in a direction because they know something now, and moving away from officialdom. Moving more with their intuition, their hearts, and away from the official narrative. People dropping the narrative, dropping the governments, dropping the trust in the system. That's been happening all over. We've been talking about that for a long time. That was in the WebBot information for years now from Cliff High. That is an ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm. Right. Thank you so much for that. And we've got JC in the chat. Hello, JC. Hope you and Sarah are enjoying your well-deserved time off. And he's saying that some people in the chat are asking us to look at this, which is just coming out from @QTheStorm on X. Everyone, please evacuate from these cities now. New York City, LA, Chicago, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. There's a bunch of different cities on there. 17 cities, one event, it says at the end. Is this a nothing burger, Janine? What the heck is this? Is this just to cause fear? What is this that's circulating at the moment? That's pretty intense.
Every month this year just gets more crazy. We're running out of words to call the months.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You know, this would indicate fear porn. And I feel like if there was, and maybe there was a reason why that was put out there in the first place,
Mhm.
the balloons. But I feel with that ace in the past, that might have been a truth. So I feel like that might be circulating based in an old energy that was going to play out, but we're past that. We've flipped that. That's been put on the side or on hold. And I don't see a disaster in the near future. And that information looks like this is stepping through it. This is actually a really good card, and it takes you through a gateway. We're past that, and or we avoided that somehow. And so you're now looking at an old, it's almost like I know that timelines don't work the way we think they do, but just for lack of another way to say it, that was on another timeline, and we're not on that timeline.
Right. Okay, good news. Yeah, it does seem kind of clickbaity and fear porny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good to hear. And our last major thing we're going to look at in tonight's show is gold. This is a post from Jan Nieuwenhuis. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He says Germany considers withdrawing 1,200 ton gold stockpile from US in riposte to Trump. Janine, can we look at what is going on with gold? And also, this could be a supplemental question. What happened to the Fort Knox audit that was supposed to happen? Is that going to be happening soon? Is that not going to be happening soon?
Okay, let's start with what's happening with gold, and then we'll go to the Fort Knox one.
Sounds good.
So I wonder did gold go down recently because it's going back up again, if that's the case?
I think it did go down recently, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, 2 aces. Oh boy. Okay, something's happening out in the world that's going to create it to be a lot more valuable than, or maybe even just, let's say, maybe the truth about its true value comes up, or like it becomes its true value, something like that. And it feels like it's all instigated by some big thing going on in the world financially. So somehow the financial market right now and what's happening, so in the next, I'd say, month, what's happening, because it's happening right now according to that, is going to there's shocking things happening, but the result of it for gold is you see the true value of gold.
And how near of a future is that, Janine?
Well, it says it's happening right now, but I don't know when we land on the true value. Let's have a look. The Fool, and anyway, sometime by the end of June, we could see, now we're starting to see a more true value of gold. Like it could start going up soon though, because it says it's happening right now.
Yeah, 2 aces together. That's a pretty big deal. That's nice to see. Okay, and we're about to do some giveaways, you guys, before we finish up tonight's show. But before we do that, we want to just mention our new coffee and chats over here on Beyond Mystic. This is a new offering with the Beyond Mystic team. Janine, do you want to speak a little bit on why this new product is so cool and what the heck this coffee and chats is all about?
Well, I think a lot of people like to, like we saw at the conference, how much everyone got out of actually getting together and chatting about things in person. And of course, we can't do that every month. But this was the closest thing to it in a way. It'll be circulating which Beyond Mystic peoples are going to be on the chats. Okay, but it'll give people an opportunity to connect with the community, including somebody from the Beyond Mystic team, 1 or 2 people from the Beyond Mystic team. I believe that's how it's going to work. And then you can ask questions. We're not going to be taking personal questions, but we're going to be just talking generally about what's going on in the Beyond Mystic community, but also out in the world community. So it's kind of going to be just a connection point. And yeah, and it's kind of the idea came up because so many people reach out and just want to be part of something. They want to chat with you. They want to get rub shoulders with people who think the same as they do. So this was a great way to do that, I guess.
Love it. Yeah, I think this is going to be something very beautiful, a part of Beyond Mystic. And let's also take a little listen to our lovely Malva, who did an amazing job at the recent Beyond Mystic conference in Ottawa. Holy guacamole, you guys. This girl is so talented. Malva helps us out with a lot of the backhand stuff, and she did some emceeing along with Coco, and she did an unbelievable job. If you guys haven't seen that yet, go check the replay of the conference. JC says, more intimate group to stay connected. Yes, for the coffee and chats. Let's take a listen to Malva and what she has to say about it.
Are you looking for a place where you can feel connected, inspired, and truly supported on your spiritual journey? Beyond Mystic Coffee Chats is your weekly sacred space to gather, grow, and explore everything that lies beyond the ordinary. Every Monday, we come together for a live 30-minute coffee and chats with one of our Beyond Mystic residents. So grab a chair, my friend, and come join us, because this is your time to listen, to connect with your soul brothers and sisters, to ask questions, and to share the love for the spiritual and beyond, all in a warm, welcoming setting where you are seen and valued. Whether you are taking your first steps or have been walking your path of spirituality for years, this membership is your gateway to deeper understanding, personal transformation, and a real community. Your seat is waiting. So join us here at the Beyond Mystic Coffee and Chats.
Thank you, Malva. You're awesome. And you're such a good speaker and have such a nice, I just smile every time I hear Malva. I don't know why, Janine. I just absolutely love her. So we're going to do some giveaways, including a Beyond Mystic mug. And then we're going to get into a giveaway of a Carla pyramid and also tarot candle. Do you want to start, Janine? What's a question we can ask the audience for someone to win a Beyond Mystic coffee mug?
Oh boy. Okay, let me just think about that. I didn't have one ready.
Okay, do you want me to do one first?
Yeah, you start.
Okay. Okay. What sign, hope you guys were paying attention, we did mention it quite a few times. What astrological sign is the full moon going to be in on Saturday, April 13th? What is the sign that the full moon is going to be in on Saturday, April 13th? Put it in the live chat. We'll see who's going to be our first winner for a Beyond Mystic mug. We'll let it populate a little bit. Some people are saying tonight that they've been having an issue with the stream on Rumble. Sorry about that, guys. We don't know what's going on there. Hope you guys can all see us live. Okay, and let me bring up the live chat just a moment here. And we will pick someone together. Oh, wait, I got to, okay, wow, brain fart. Sorry, you guys. I'm not used to doing this show on Sunday nights. Let me bring up the live chat here. 1 sec, and we will pick somebody. It was one of those moments I thought you guys could see what I'm seeing, but you can't. Okay, so here we go. Janine, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, we've got, Rosie Thorne, 8847. You are the winner of a Beyond Mystic coffee cup. Congratulations. Go over to beyondmystic.net and contact us on the contact form, and we'll be sure to send that over to you. Wow, we got a lot of answers over in the live chat. And let's move over to our lovely Carla at Ascension Organite. She has a beautiful new pyramid called, what was the name of this one? She mentioned it to me. 1 sec, let me check the text that she sent me. I think it's just called Sleep and Relaxation Pyramid. So the Beginner's Series Sleep and Relaxation Pyramid. Let's take a listen to her video on beautiful. Carla just knocks it out of the park every time. Let's take a little listen what Carla has to say about this pyramid giveaway for today.
Hello, everyone. This is Carla from Ascension Organize. I hope you're all doing amazing. Today I have this piece to show you. It is part of the beginner series. This one is for sleep and relaxation. It is made of lepidolite, amethyst, brass metals, and the tree of life symbol here in silver. This piece is great if you have trouble sleeping, trouble relaxing, if you have a lot of anxiety. Amethyst and lepidolite are great for balancing emotions, helping you relax, helping you see the positive side of things. I actually have this one next to my bed every night, and it really has helped, especially in these crazy times that we are living in. I'll give it a quick turn so you guys can see it. And there it is. I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Carla, you are so awesome. Every single one of your pyramids are absolutely magical. Thank you so much. So
Welcome back.
Sorry, guys. Let's see who's going to be the winner of that beautiful sleep and relaxation pyramid. Janine, do you have a question for the audience?
I do. So if you've been watching me for a while, I've said a few times on shows that Meg reminds me of one of the major arcana cards. Okay, so it's one of the major arcanas. And as far as I am concerned, Meg reminds me of that card, archetypally, but also visually. So which one is it?
Oh, that's a good one, Janine. Okay. Let's see what people say. Oh, interesting. The answers are coming in right away. So what is the tarot card that I remind Janine of? Okay, Janine, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Oh my God, it's not letting me stop. Okay, make the change. High Priestess.
You bet.
That's right. Congratulations, make the change. Oh, thank you, Janine. That's so nice. I love the High Priestess. So congratulations, and contact us at beyondmystic.net under the contact form to get that beautiful sleep and relaxation pyramid from Carla. And last but not least, oh my gosh, I've got so much on the slide deck here, you guys. Just bear with me for 1 second. We've also got a candle from Carla. Oh my God, where did it go? Let me bring it up here just a sec. I believe it is a Emperor candle. Do you have another question for the audience, Janine? Do you want me to one? Okay,
so
perfect.
this card, when it comes up in a personal place, what is the word I say? What is happening when this comes as a personal card? Not out in the world, personal.
Okay. So when the Tower, can you say that again just for clarity for people, Janine?
Yeah. When this card comes up in a reading and it's your personal card or describing something like what's happening personally for someone or a group of people. So it's not what's happening out in the world. It's more personal. What do I always say it means when it's in that personal position?
Okay. And let me know when to stop, Janine.
Stop.
Stop. Okay, awesome. We've got Jack in the box. Congratulations. You say revelation and change. You got it.
Yep.
And you have just won a Emperor candle card. Am I saying that right? Tarot card of the Emperor from Carla at Ascension Organites. Congratulations. And Carla was so sweet. She sent me a couple of tarot cards in the mail, these candles, and they are so nice when you actually get them in person, Janine. I'm sure you have them as well. They are so nice. They smell so good. So go support Carla over at Organites.com. And congratulations to all our winners. Mm-hmm. And before we finish up, one more thing I want to bring up with you, Janine. We've got, let me bring this up here, something that JC wanted me to share from Cliff High in regards to the emotional tension high points throughout the year. According to Cliff High's WebBot data, we are getting into one of these high emotional value points. What is some advice for us dealing with these times and these emotional hikes?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
Let's ask the universe.
Okay.
Okay, so when we're in the middle of one, as soon as I saw that card, it was like, let things go that are too hard. Okay, so don't go upriver on those. You know how some days, even if it's hard, you just got to keep going and going?
Yeah.
When you're in one of those emotionally really high points, you might want to take that off the table where you don't push against a stream. Go with the flow more. Make things a little easier on yourself. Cut yourself some slack. That's what I'd say with that. Check in with yourself. Feel what you really need to do, but don't like pit yourself against, okay, I said I was going to do this, this, and this. I got to do this, this, this. You might have to abandon some of the things you had planned because it'll be too hard, or you're just going against up the river or going against the tide, that sort of thing, right? Yeah, that's repeating it too. Let go of things that aren't absolutely necessary to do. Take it a little easier. Okay, like literally today I did that. Okay, so today it was like I couldn't deal with anything. Not that I didn't have too much sleep. I had enough sleep, but I had that weird pressure headache. So I was like feeling really vulnerable. So I literally stayed in my jams all day and just did things that I didn't do all of that. I had a whole bunch of things I wanted to get done. I don't think I did any of them except come on this show, which I'm so happy I did. Right. So this is the first actual work-related thing I did today was this. Right. And I feel like, yeah, all of these cards are saying, let things go that aren't emotionally serving. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because you're already going to be pushed. You're already, it's going to be too hard. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to cut yourself a little slack. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself as a really good friend and pamper yourself up a bit. How do you treat your best friend when you know she's in a vulnerable place or he's in a vulnerable place? You love them up. Pour yourself that bath, have that, do your feet or get yourself a foot massage. Do something sweet for yourself, but don't push it and expect too much out of yourself.
That is beautiful advice, Janine. And everybody's in the chat saying, great advice, Janine. Thank you so much, Janine. And it's simple in a way, but it's so true. And we're so programmed to not do that for ourselves and to just keep going. But that feels really right for right now and going into this week ahead. Thank you so much for that. And thank you, everyone, for joining us for tonight's Deep Woo Woo Wacky Woo show. We do miss Janine. We're sending lots of love. Janine, JC, we're sending lots of love to JC and Sarah. It's the day before Mercury goes direct. So sorry, bear with me, you guys. I get very affected by that for some reason. I don't know why. So we love you all so much out there. And
thì làm sao còn có cơ hội xuống tay. Tiểu giờ không kịp thu tên, đành phải hướng cung xuống phía dưới. Mũi tên rời cung, hướng thẳng xuống phía dưới thầm cốc. Trong chốc lát đã không thể bóng dáng. Tiểu giờ sợ toát mồ hôi lạnh, tay y bị liệt cây gỗ, tim đập thình thịch. Một lúc lâu sau mới bình tĩnh trở lại. Đời này trước sau vẫn có cây cối mọc nghiêng ra đến trong cốc, xanh tươi tốt che đi bóng dáng của y. Nhưng trên đỉnh nhánh cây tương đối thưa thớt, ánh mặt trời xuyên suốt xuống, ánh sáng sặc sỡ. Vừa rồi y đột nhiên ấn tiễn nằm dạp người xuống. Ánh sáng chiếu xuống từ giữa các lá cây chiếu chính diện vào mặt đơn đao trên lưng y. Khúc xạ ánh sáng lóe lên qua mắt Kim Nhãn Điêu. Y lại hoàn toàn không biết. Trên cầu, Dương Đại Quan Nhân vẫn đắc chí nói: cờ binh khởi sự, quan trọng ở việc xem xét thời thế, khéo léo dẫn dắt, quan trọng ở việc biết người biết ta, tinh tường thuận nghịch, mà các ngươi mọi thứ đều hành sự theo chiều nghịch, nói gì thành công. Bộ tướng phía sau triệu toại đều chạy lại. 4 người đám răng bần thấy thế cũng vội vàng tiến lên phía trước nghênh đón. Vây 2 người ở chính giữa, triệu toại cười lạnh tin tưởng nói: vậy quốc công gia chỉ giáo. Dương Lăng vui vẻ cười nói: Ngươi gọi ta là quốc công gia, xem ra còn biết chính thống thiên hạ ở nơi nào. Phổ bí tam thiên, trực để y yến chi địa, long phi kiểu ngũ, trọng khai hỗn độn chi thiên. Nghe thì tráng lệ, nhưng các ngươi muốn thay thế nhà Minh, quân lâm thiên hạ lại không biết thời gian qua đi, cảnh vật thay đổi. Thế cục hiện nay và thời Mông Nguyên hoàn toàn khác nhau. Ta nói một chút về xem xét thời thế. Mông Nguyên là dị tộc, đối với thiên hạ người Hán thì bạc bẽo vô cùng, đem người trong thiên hạ chia thành 4 loại. Người Hán trong mắt người Mông Cổ giống như nô lệ, cho nên bách tính chưa bao giờ quy thuận. Tới cuối thời nhà Nguyên, thiên hạ đã đổ nát cực kỳ, mất hết lòng người, triều chính khó có thể duy trì. Và lúc này, tể tướng Mông Nguyên Bá Nhan lại đưa ra hôn chiêu, góp lời với hoàng đế Nguyên Thuận để tiêu trừ thế lực của nhà Hán, giết hết thiên hạ 5 họ lớn: Trương, Vương, Lý, Triệu, Lưu. 5 dòng họ lớn lúc đấy chiếm 1/4 thiên hạ người Hán. Những người này lại có bạn bè chí cốt, hành động này không khác nào tàn sát hết tất cả người Hán. Các lộ hào kiệt lúc này lòng người bàng hoàng hết sức, đều khởi binh chống quân Nguyên, hoàn toàn thuận theo lòng dân, cho nên chưa đến mấy năm tựa như bẻ gãy cành khô, dễ dàng lấy được thiên hạ. Kết quả như thế vừa do con người tạo ra, cũng vừa là ý trời. Nhưng ngày nay thì sao? Đại Minh lập quốc hơn 100 năm, căn cơ vững chắc. Tiên đế Hoàng Trị cũng là vị quân vương sáng suốt hiếm có. Trong 18 năm tại vị, chọn hiền tài đảm nhiệm, cần chính yêu dân, càng là theo lòng dân. Đương kim hoàng đế sau khi kế vị, tuy tuổi trẻ ham chơi, đã từng để gian định gây loạn triều cương, nhưng gian định cũng chỉ 2 năm là đã bị thanh trừ. Đại Minh quốc gia vận mệnh chưa suy, hiện tại hoàng đế chăm lo việc nước, cải cách triều chính, giảm miễn tiền lương thuế ở Hà Bắc Hà Nam. Dân đồng các người biết không, thanh lý thôn tính thổ địa, cai trị anh binh, cải cách quân chế, di dân liều đồng, mở biển thông thương, khuyến khích nông canh, có việc nào không phải là việc tốt, lợi quốc lợi dân. Những biện pháp này một khi phát đi, bách tính có hy vọng, ai còn theo các ngươi tạo phản chứ? Các người hiện tại mặc dù quy tụ mấy vạn binh mã, nhưng sau này khó mở rộng quy mô, binh sĩ càng ngày càng ít. Không tin sao? Ngươi xem Lưu Lục Dương Hổ vốn quy tụ được mấy vạn binh sĩ trong vòng mấy tháng. Đến nay chu du giang nam, nơi trốn vấp phải chắc trở, còn lại bao nhiêu dân chúng hưởng ứng nữa. Các người ép ngồi đáy giếng, không biết thế gian biến hóa, vẫn còn ngồi đây tự cao tự đại. Triệu Hạo, Lý Hoa nghe thấy thì mặt như màu đất, phòng đồi Lưu Nhập Thất tức giận bất bình, hai tay của Triệu Toàn hơi run rẩy. Những lời Dương Lăng nói câu nào cũng giống như là đao kiếm cứu vạn kỳ nghi. Y không phải là không suy nghĩ đến việc tiếp nhận Chiêu An. Dù sao giành Giang Sơn nắm chính quyền cũng chỉ là một giấc mơ từ sau khi Y bị ép buộc làm thổ phỉ. Bây giờ cùng với phản ứng rất nhanh của triều đình, cái ý nghĩ này đã dần dần phai nhạt. Ban đầu triều đình chỉ muốn tiêu diệt thổ phỉ, càng tiêu diệt bách tính càng gánh nặng tăng lên người đầu quân cho thổ phỉ càng nhiều, cho nên lưu lực truyền tại bọn họ căn bản không sợ quan binh tiêu diệt, thiên hạ sẽ đại loạn. Nỗi oán ghét và thất vọng với triều đình càng ngày càng lớn, không những làm khổ dân chúng, thậm chí một số sĩ tử cũng đầu quân dưới trướng bọn họ. Nhưng sau khi Dương Lăng rời núi, một trận đánh lớn đã khiến Dương Hổ quân tan rã, rồi gắt ra khỏi Sơn Đông, nơi mà triều đình thối rữa, bất kỳ lúc nào cũng có thể chiêu mộ được binh mã. Liền sau đó hắn tổng chỉ huy tiêu diệt thổ phỉ, xoay mình biến hóa trở thành lý chính đại thần, trở về triều đình tiến hành cải cách, trước đuổi thổ phỉ, sau chỉnh đốn gia viên, nhân cơ hội dọn sạch đám trầm tích ảnh hưởng triều đình. Tình cảnh này quả thực giống bạch ký quân phía trước khai hoang triều đình đi theo gieo hạt giống. Không những bách tính có hy vọng, cho dù những bệ sở binh không muốn đánh trận, nhất khi nghe triều đình 2 năm nữa sau khi thiên hạ thái bình chuẩn bị chế độ mộ lính, bản thân không muốn đời đời kiếp kiếp làm lính, đánh trận cũng có tinh thần cứ theo đà này, hy vọng trước đây cũng là rất khó thực hiện. Nhưng tự mình có thể làm chủ của thuộc hạ được, trừ phi hạ quyết tâm hại chết mấy tên chủ tướng như là Hình Đão Hổ, Phong Đôi, Lưu Nhập Thất. Nhưng triều toại ta làm sao có thể làm ra những chuyện bất nghĩa như thế được? Triệu Phong Tử cảm xúc mênh mông, sau một hồi lâu hít một hơi thật dài, trầm lặng nói: Đúng là giả một. Người ta từng nói, chúng ta như thế nào là không biết mình biết ta. Hồng nương tử ở trong phòng vui đùa với đứa nhỏ. Khí kiều từ sau khi uống thuốc do nàng hao tâm tổn sức làm ra đã hoàn toàn bình phục. Có bí phương luyện võ gia truyền của Thôi Gia bồi dưỡng nguyên khí, thằng bé đã trở nên chắc khỏe. Mùa đông năm ngoái, ở Đại Đồng trời đưa đất đẩy làm sao mà đã sinh ra nghiệt duyên với Dương Lăng. Không ai ngờ tới thành thân với Dương Hổ lâu như vậy, trước giờ chưa từng có thai. Chỉ qua một đêm xuân phong, không ngờ âm thầm kết trái lại có thai. Nàng lợi dụng cơ hội trở mặt với Dương Hổ, sống một mình ở trại cũ của Thôi Gia sau núi. Sau khi đến đó, thân mình mang thai đã dần dần không giấu được nữa, mượn cớ xuống núi giải khuây, lén lén trốn đi, cho đến khi sinh con xong mới quay về núi. Chỉ là đáng thương cho đứa bé, chỉ có thể nói trên đường nhà từng đứa trẻ bị vứt bỏ để tránh tay mắt người đời. Thôi anh Nhi lần đầu làm mẹ, mỗi lần nhìn thấy con mình đều không khỏi thấy áy náy. Hiện giờ đứa trẻ đã 7 tháng tuổi, mắt nhìn thấy cốt nhục của mình càng lớn càng đáng yêu, trong lòng nàng tràn đầy tình yêu và sự thỏa mãn của một người mẹ. Không biết có phải là tác dụng của tâm lý không, nàng luôn nhận thấy con mình càng lớn càng giống cha của nó, Dương Lăng, cái người mà khiến nàng thương nhớ, lại vừa yêu vừa hận. Khẽ vuốt vuốt khuôn mặt non nớt của Dương Khí Kiều, Thượng Anh Nhi thở dài. Mẹ cả ngày chém giết giết, đúng là vất vả cho con rồi. Ôi, người cha đáng hận của con. Thượng Anh Nhi buồn bã im lặng không nói thêm gì nữa. Với tính cách kiên cường cao ngạo của nàng, cho dù là yêu Dương Lăng đi nữa, với thân phận hổ thẹn là vợ người khác, cũng không tự làm mất mặt đến cầu xin tình cảm, tình nguyện làm vợ người khác. Tất cả đều là vì đứa trẻ nàng mới nhẫn nhục đi tìm Dương Lăng, mong hắn có thể giúp mình báo thù giết cha, mượn cơ đó có thể lưu lại bên cạnh hắn. Đáng hận thay, con người đó công tư phần mình như vậy, rõ ràng là một người tham quyền lợi. Hắn lại nói một phen đạo lý, chính là không chịu giúp đỡ. Nếu là từ nay không được gặp hắn thì đã đành. Đằng này bản thân đến Sơn Đông, hắn đến Sơn Đông giết thổ phỉ, bản thân đến Sơn Tây, hắn lại giết đến Sơn Tây. Đúng là không chịu để cho nàng yên tĩnh. Nhưng Hồng Nương Tử lại làm sao lừa dối mình, quên được người đàn ông khiến nàng suốt đời khó quên này. Ngoài trừ hai huynh đệ Triệu Tú Tản ra, trong sơn trại không có ai muốn tiếp nhận chiêu an. Lần nghi hòa này của Dương Lăng nhất định sẽ không thành công. Hình đại ca muốn xuống Giang Nam, khi là chủ soái, Triệu Tú Tài không thể kháng lại ý của người. Xét ra từ sau ngày hôm nay, đại quân sẽ phải chuẩn bị đi Giang Nam sau. Nhưng hy vọng hắn sẽ không đuổi đến. Triều đình nhiều quan như thế, sao cứ xuất hiện thế? Tôi anh Nhi vừa nghĩ không khỏi chợt có chút lo sợ, nghĩ là mong hắn đừng có đuổi đến nữa. Nhưng ở sâu trong nội tâm thì nghĩ từ nay về sau núi cao nước xa không được gặp lại hắn, trong lòng lại thấy trống trải, có một cảm giác không nắm bắt được. Tuy rằng không thể ở bên nhau mãi, nhưng lúc nào cũng biết cửa nhất động của hắn như vậy, biết hắn đang gần trong gang tấc, trong lòng yên tâm hơn nhiều. Nếu